Does it feel like you're hearing from more people you know that they're testing positive for COVID-19? There are reports from really all over the world now saying cases are surging again, driven by new mutations of the Omicron variant. Well, here at home, public health measures continue to drop. So what does this mean for the spread of the virus here in Canada? Joining me more is infectious diseases specialist Dr. Isaac Bogosh. It's been a minute. Nice to see you.
Good morning, Lindsey.
Okay, so we know that the UK, Portugal, South Africa are now in a new wave of COVID-19 cases. What's happening in Canada right now?
We're seeing the same thing. We're a few weeks behind some of those other countries, and we're seeing the same thing. And this is, sadly, a new variant or lineage of the Omicron variant. It's called BA.5. It's here, and there are more cases now than there were a few weeks ago. If you look at the metrics across the country, you're starting to see an uptick in, for example, the wastewater surveillance, the percentage of tests that are positive. And in certain parts of the country, even starting to see a small but real uptick in the number of people in hospital. So it's the real deal. We're having, a summer wave, and, it's not quite clear how big this wave will be, but we certainly are having more cases now than we did a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I want to ask you, you mentioned hospitals. Typically, we know that when cases of COVID-19 go up, hospitalizations usually follow. So what are we seeing on that front?
Well, at least in Ontario and perhaps parts of Quebec, maybe other parts of the country as well, we're seeing a very small but real rise in hospitalizations. If you look at, for example, the past 2 summers, we've actually seen very, very low rates of hospitalization as we've come out of the spring wave, and we've seen a trend of very low hospitalization rates throughout June and July and much of August. But now, with the introduction of this sublineage, it is transmissible. People are getting this infection, and it is translating into a small but real bump in hospitalizations. How big that bump gets is unclear. I mean, I think we have to take a step back and remember that the vast majority of Canadians have been vaccinated. Many people who are eligible for a 3rd dose have received a 3rd dose. Some people who are eligible for a 4th dose have received a 4th dose. Many people have been infected and have recovered from infection. So we do have a lot of community level protection from immunity through vaccination or recovery from infection or a combination of both. But the question is, with this particular variant that has an ability to wriggle around some of the protective immunity we have, it's not entirely clear how big this wave will get, but we are still having something. Things that you can do to protect yourself. We know vaccination is really helpful for protecting against severe infection, not as much protective against getting the infection, but certainly protects against severe infection like hospitalization and death, so you can get the vaccine you're eligible for. And also, we know this virus is primarily transmitted in indoor settings, and you can lower your risk of getting this infection by wearing a mask in an indoor setting.
What's a little different from, you and I talking last summer, you and I talking today, is that most public health measures have been relaxed right across the country. So what does that mean for our ability to control the spread of this wave?
Well, a lot of it really, the onus really lies on the individual with this. I mean, if you have so many public health measures lifted across the country, a lot of this boils down to what am I going to do to protect myself? What are you going to do to protect yourself? Rather than what are we going to do to protect each other. And, we do have the tools. We absolutely can. You can be vaccinated with a vaccine that you're eligible for. And we certainly do have under-vaccinated communities. So there is room for improvement on that front. And of course, people can certainly choose to wear a mask indoors if they like, although there are few places where this is mandated. It's still mandated, for example, in healthcare settings. We're still wearing masks in healthcare settings, although depending on where you are in the country, that's either a provincial mandate or an institutional mandate. But I think the vast majority of healthcare settings across the province, across the country, are wearing masks.
Dr. Isaac Bogosh, good to see you. Thanks.
My pleasure. Have a great day.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.